Ever wondered what your shopping cart's biggest secret is? Well, today we're pulling back the curtain on the silent but unbelievably powerful world of something called POSM. So let me ask you this. Have you ever just popped into the store for, say, milk and bread, but you walked out with a whole bunch of stuff you had absolutely no intention of buying? Yep, we've all been there. Well, it turns out that's not an accident. Nope. It's the result of a hidden science, a carefully designed experience that uses a kind of silent salesperson to turn your browsing into buying, right at that last possible second. So, what is this invisible force called anyway? Well, let's decode some of the lingo. It's called POSM, which stands for Point of Sale Materials. And put simply, it's every single piece of marketing you see in a store that isn't the actual product. We're talking posters, special displays, banners, anything and everything designed to grab your eye and nudge you towards making a purchase. Now, you might hear people throw around the terms POP and POS, and it can get a little confusing, but it's actually really simple. POP, or point of purchase, refers to the entire store, anywhere you could make a buying decision. POS, or point of sale, is just that one specific spot where the money actually changes hands, the checkout counter. Both of them fall under that big POSM umbrella. And listen, here's a really important clarification. When we're talking about POS materials, we are not talking about the POS system. That's the hardware, right? The terminal that you tap your credit card on. Totally different thing. We're focused on the marketing materials around it. Okay, now that we've got the vocabulary down, let's actually see this stuff in action. Come on, let's go on a virtual shopping trip. So, the moment you walk in, you are greeted by the heavy hitters. These are the big, loud, impossible-to-miss displays that are basically there to announce a brand's presence and just demand your attention. We're talking about those massive displays at the end of aisles, what they call gondolas. You've seen them, right? Like a giant Christmas tree made entirely of chocolate boxes. You'll also see giant stickers on the floor guiding you along, or structural pillars all wrapped up to look like giant billboards. Oh, and of course, FSDUs. Those are freestanding display units just packed with special offers. Okay, as we move down the aisles, things get a little more intimate. We've now arrived at the shelf, and this, my friends, is the final and most crowded battleground for your eyeballs. Here you'll find shelf talkers, those little signs that pop out to shout about a new flavor or a great deal. Then you have wobblers, the little tags on a plastic strip that literally dance and jiggle to get you to look. And you can't miss the big dump bins, or the endcaps, which are that absolute prime real estate at the end of every aisle. But hold on, because this isn't just about clever cardboard and plastic anymore. The modern store is evolving, and POSM is getting a serious tech upgrade. We're starting to see interactive digital screens that show dynamic ads. Some brands are using augmented reality so you can see a product in your own home before you even buy it. And then things get really interesting with robotics. Yeah, you heard that right. Companies are now creating these tiny little robots that attach to products on the shelf, and they use motion and sound to make them stand out in a way that is literally impossible to ignore. Get this. For a Maggi soup campaign, they used these little robots to make a soup pot just burst into Italian opera right there in the middle of the aisle. How amazing is that? It was fun, it was surprising, and guess what? It was incredibly effective. It boosted sales for that soup by a staggering 50%. All right, our tour is almost over. Our final stop is the checkout counter. This is the last chance saloon, the home of the impulse buy. All that candy, gum, and those magazines are strategically placed there for a reason. So all of this stuff doesn't just appear by magic, right? There is a huge, coordinated effort, a whole team of people working behind the scenes to make it all happen. Think of it like a full orchestra. First, a brand and a project manager set the goals. Then, creative teams come up with the eye-catching designs. After that, manufacturers actually build the physical displays. And then installation teams go out and set them up perfectly in all the stores. And finally, and this is so critical, marketers analyze all the sales data to see what worked. That feedback makes the next campaign even smarter. So after this whole tour, let's just zoom out for a second. Why does any of this really matter? Why should we even care about this silent salesperson? Well, as this quote sums it up perfectly, POSM is that crucial final step. It's the powerful last mile of marketing that connects all the ads you might have seen before with the actual physical product right in front of you. It's what turns a casual browser into a committed buyer. So here's a final thought for you. The next time you're in a store, look around with new eyes. Try to spot the wobblers, the end caps, the digital screens. See if you can spot the silent salesperson at work. And more importantly, ask yourself if it's working on you.